All right, we are recording. What's up, Chris?
Hi, Eric. How you doing? It's good to see
Good.
you.
Hey, man, I
My long
appreciate
time.
you. Yeah, appreciate you doing this, man.
Absolutely. You know how it goes. Always giving back.
That's right.
That's what I say.
Well, in a minute, that's one of the things I really wanted to ask you about is what are the things you're doing these days to stay clean and sober? You and I both have had our share of in and outs in the program, some relapsing, and we've both put some substantial time together now. I mean, it's all relative, I understand, but we're moving along, we're moving forward one day at a time and doing this thing. And we were actually in rehab together. Um,
Yes, we were.
and we both had some stumbles after that, some hiccups, some challenges, and went back out. But yeah, now we both got some consistent time, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about was what you do on a daily basis. You and Billy and myself, we talk a lot, and
Yes, we do.
I think we're both kind of on the same trajectory. You know what I mean? We're both kind of moving in the same direction. But before that, just give our folks in group just a little insight as to where you came from, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off just by saying hi. I'm Chris, and I'm gonna identify as an alcoholic and an addict, both. Um, I to get into my story, it would take quite a while, so I'll try to break it down to the most basic version. As I realized really early that I was a little bit different than everybody else. Um, Someone could put a drink down and walk away where there was no way I was going to let a drink go. I would drink my drink and then whatever drink they left there. And, that was just how I did it. And it wasn't always like drink till I was in oblivion and my life was ruined and everything was done right away. But, it took a while to get to that point, but it definitely got to that point. And I could have saw the signs if I was looking for them. But, you know, I liked the way that made me feel. I associated with people a lot better when I was drinking or using. It got into using later in my life. Yeah, I like to use. Is it okay to get into what I used to do? And
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
I liked crank, man. Crank was my deal. I really liked Coke, but Coke was so expensive. I started doing crank, and I was that type that would do a big line and go to work and come home and pretend like I was sleeping so the wife didn't get upset. And um, fake my sleep for a couple hours and then force something down into my stomach so my wife didn't get any wiser and do another line and go to work. And it got to the point where that was it. It was all consuming for me. And then I couldn't even wake up and go to work anymore. Being up all night and drugs and alcohol definitely um, took their toll at the end. Not only just physically, but I would say the most spiritually is when I really wanted to make a change. I had a beautiful family, 3 children. I have them hanging on my wall here. Um, I had that storybook life. I thought, I always thought that if I had this, that, or this, my life would be good, and I had the family, the job, the house. I had property in the mountains, and I had the bass boat and the nice brand new truck. And I went out and bought my wife a brand new Camaro and surprised her at work one day, and things like that. And I always thought if I had those things, it would make me feel I'd be okay. Like, okay, this is what I need. My life will be right. And my low was when everything that I just mentioned right there. And you can imagine the family would be the biggest is something I gave up. I can vividly remember the day when the cops were knocking on my door and they said, we got 2 choices for you. We're gonna either put you in handcuffs and pull you out, or you're gonna get about 5 minutes to pack a bag and get the fuck out of this house and never come back. And they said it to me just like that. Excuse my language, but they said it to me in just that manner. You're gonna get the heck out of this house, and you're not gonna come back. And I was driving away from that house, and one thing I'd been fired from the company that I worked with for, I think I was going on about 14 years by then. They let me go. The drug problem got too bad. They tried a couple of rehabs with me, and they didn't take, like you had mentioned early. That's where I met Eric in my, I think it was my third rehab, and there's a lot of stuff that happened during those times, a lot of stuff. I was in a rehab like 4 months before that where I had lost my mom. She died when I was in the rehab. They had to come get me out and I had to go make arrangements, bury her, and then go right back in. And it just wasn't time for me. But this time when the cops, I was at that lowest point where, the cops were telling me, you're going to get out of this house. And I packed this measly little garbage bag. It was a hefty bag and had all what was left of my life, some raggedy old clothes. They were nice clothes, but to me, they seemed raggedy because just my whole life was raggedy at that point. And I got in this one vehicle that I had sold off that nice truck, brand new truck, and the boat and her car. And I got in this truck that was barely running. And I remember just thinking, my God, I just walked out on my children and my wife and the house that they grew up in, and everything about life that was in that house, I was walking away from. But that was a point that really, 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 set me on the course to where I am today. I can say
That's
that.
what I was going to ask you, man. Would you argue that it needed to get to that place in order for you to change direction?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what it was for me is that that bottom, and it doesn't. This is the coolest thing I learned. That bottom doesn't have to be the same for everyone. You don't have to lose everything that's valuable. And I say lose, I walked away from it. We all, we know that once we start doing that little inventory and check out everything, and folks, don't let that scare you. It's a great thing. My life is more full today than I've ever had in my life. It is the absolute fullest life, fullest heart. Those people that I talked about, that wife that didn't want anything to do with me, the children that were pretty much, they loved me, but they were at their wits' end with me. Those people that I talk about, I get to be around them today, and I have a very good relationship that I could have never, ever, ever built on my own.
So that kind of is a good lead into the next part of this, man. As you said, when you're done, you're done. But just because you're done doesn't mean you're free and clear of ever having to face the potential of relapsing again if you don't do certain things to stay on top of your game, right?
Right,
So
absolutely.
what are those things, man?
So, and this is it. I'm assuming the topic is what do I do for recovery today? And
Right.
and this is the biggest part, right, Eric? And so I want to get into all kinds of things. I really want to talk about what you and Billy do together. How we do our book studies, how we still reach out every day to each other pretty much. There might be a couple of days where we go, but I'm the guy that'll snap a picture of the sunset and write good morning, in a text to these guys. And Eric's the type that'll just text out his feelings, exactly what he's feeling at that moment. And it hits me exactly when I need it to hit me.
That's cool. I'm glad.
It's amazing. Yeah. And Billy's the type that he'll get to his work, and I know our friend Billy too. He sits down and he reads his literature in the morning in his truck before he starts work, and he'll take a snapshot of his the meditation for the day, or the daily reflections, whatever he happened to catch his eye really, because he reads all kinds of things, but whatever really captures his eyes and his heart, he'll send it out to us, and then I'll make comments on it all day, and it's exactly what I need at that time, and then we get together and we do Zooms, 3 guys and this is the coolest part. I want people that are listening to pay attention to this. 3 guys that came from the same recovery house that are still in recovery today. Right. A couple of us went back out and tested the waters, but made it back. And the one guy, Billy, he's been in it. And
dude, did you hear this coming Saturday?
7 years. 7 years for you?
No. Billy.
For Billy.
Billy's going to have 7 years Saturday.
Wow. We got to do something then.
Yeah.
We absolutely have to do something.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?
That's awesome.
And just like you're talking about, man, he's on a trip right now to Bryce Canyon, I think it is.
Yeah.
With his family, his little boy and his wife. They're back together again, and he got drop kicked out of the house, and so.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Hey, you know what? 7 years ago, did it really seem that we were in that house together? It did not seem like 7 years. How time goes by, right?
That's right.
Crazy. So, what I truly do though today, and that's the key word, and Eric will tell you the same thing, is today. I don't got to worry about anything else except for today. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't have to worry about anything else other than this moment. This moment right now, if you truly ask, if I do a little check on what's going on with Chris, right here at this moment. What time is it? It's 9:46 on a Monday, October 5th. What's truly going on with me is I feel pretty good right now. When I'm really, when I was new, when I was just starting off, it was actually a weight off my shoulders to understand that all I have to do is live in the moment.
Right.
Everything else will unfold if I'm doing what I was doing. And this was going to a ton of meetings. I mean, I had wrecked my life so good that meetings were the only place that I had to go, that or a truck in an orchard. And the meetings sounded a lot better, and they were a lot better. They felt good. I finally started wanting to go to meetings. I never wanted to go to meetings before. I finally started wanting to go to meetings, and I still do to this day. I love meetings.
Is there anything you do in those meetings, man, that's like maybe different as far as your participation level?
I I just share from the heart, man. I try to just lay it out there from the heart. I close my eyes and I ask my higher power for the strength not to be full of shit and pretty much guide my way, because I'm the type of guy that like to impress you. And I do that not even realizing when I'm doing it. So when I get in there and I just let it go from the heart, man, because I used to think that I used to think of the old ways. It was like a popularity contest. You had to have a cool story. No, man, I'm in there because I was put in there by my higher power, and I might be there to save someone's life. Pretty much, it usually works out to where I'm saving my own life, but every once in a while, I save someone else's life. When I go in there and give them my story and give them what's in my heart, because it helps that person that needed that exactly that moment.
Yeah, how important would you say giving back is to this whole recovery process?
It's everything. Service is everything. So when I find that I'm the happiest and the most joyous and free in my life, because I don't know about everybody else, but for me, I do this to be happy and joyous and free. Because if I didn't get happy, joyous, and free out there, I probably wouldn't be around.
That's right.
But I'm happy, joyous, and free today. And the most happiest I've ever been is when I'm in service. And I don't realize that until afterwards. I'm like, oh my gosh, here I was kind of in my head whining about, man, I got to go down there and I got to open the doors up and I'm going to be the chair. Eric asked me to be a chair today, and I got to give my time so precious. Don't you know how valuable my time? But then I go down there and do that, and I give from the heart. And the next thing you know, I feel so good. And no matter how many times that happens, no matter how many times my eyes are open to the fact that service is where it's at, I still struggle with it. I think it's just human nature. We get caught up in our own ways and our old ways. But that's the coolest thing. This whole thing is it's like a snowball. The more work you put into it, the more momentum it gets, the bigger it gets. It's just amazing. And once you can get out of your own way and just let yourself get caught up in that snowball, metaphorically, and just go with the flow, the better my life becomes. My life is so great when I can step out of my own damn thinking, because my thinking would have had me watching some TV instead of doing this for you guys, or for my friend Eric and for you guys. Eric, I just can't do it tonight. That's my ways. That's my thinking. My thinking is very selfish, self-centered, and inconsiderate to others. But because I've worked all my steps a couple times, and I've read the book, and I'm reading literature every day, and I'm talking to Eric and Billy, and I'm going to meetings, and I do Zoom meetings in my dump. I drive a dump truck, a big old dump truck. It's called a mega dump. I'm on the road, and I got a little holder for my phone, and I'll put my earbuds in, and every once in a while I get to a spot where the tractors aren't moving yet, so I get some time. They usually call me right about that, and I get to share. And then afterwards, I just listen in, and I can pay attention to these. And never in a million years, if you would have said, "Hey, you're going to give up your at 12, from 12 to 1 noon, you're going to give up your time and be on a Zoom meeting," I never would have told. I would have told you you're nuts. I'm not giving my time like that. But it's a part of my life now, and it makes me who I am. It helps me. It's all about changing my perception and my attitude. My attitude and my perception were horrible before I walked in the rooms. And even in the beginning, and they're still today can get work done to them, but it's a whole lot better than I had. And the more I give into that giving back, it's absolutely everything, Eric. To answer, sorry, I went off on a tangent there. To answer your question, it's everything to me. If I don't give back, I don't get it. I don't know. It's strange how that works because, to end up being together like this, and being such good friends like we are today is just amazing, and,
Miracle,
uh,
man. We're both still alive. That's a miracle. And then
you
that we're
know,
still
we
communicating.
had, we went along the same lines, where we were just kind of like, just destructed our whole life, just self-destructed on our whole life. And, we needed that to help catapult us to where we are today. But, who I am today, and I can say this about you too, Eric, who I am and who you are today is two men that I'm proud of, that I'm proud that I know you, and I'm proud to be who I am today. I've never in my life ever said that about myself.
I know it's
That
cool, isn't
I'm
it?
proud
That's
of who I
self-esteem.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, thank you for asking me, because
Yeah, man, that's
I,
cool.
I hope one of you guys in there that hear this today will understand what I'm saying. I'm thanking him because what he has done for me is a service by asking me to share for you guys,
Sure, man.
because he knows that makes my sobriety even that much stronger. So thank you.
Right on, buddy. Hey, thanks for taking the time, and I'll probably
Right on.
be connecting with you in the morning, man, as we do
I,
so often. So
yeah. So was that good? Everything was good?
you the man. No, that
Right
was
on.
terrific. Yeah, I would even like to do a part two at some point, man. Maybe I'll just come
Cool.
up with a different topic
For
because
sure.
you do
For
damn good
sure.
at this, man. That was
Like,
perfect.
right on. Thanks, Eric. I
So it
appreciate
was
it.
great.